Mommispace, a place where you can remember who you are in the midst of it all. This podcast gives moms of all stages a voice to share their experiences and the truth that there is no right way to mom. Welcome back to Mommispace. This is Bree, and today I am here with Angela Lamb. Angela, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Angela is another friend that I met through Instagram. We actually met in a workshop, and I saw that she and her husband were musicians and thought, oh my gosh, I need to reach out to these people because both my husband and I are musicians and songwriters and are trying to kind of, go after those things, but it's complicated as new parents. And so I was like, I need to get some advice from these people. So I'm just so grateful that you said yes to an interview. And I can't wait to kind of dive in. But before we kind of get into all of that goodness, would you just tell us a little bit about yourself and your family and what daily life looks like?
Sure. Yeah, that's so funny because I'm like, I probably need your advice.
Oh man.
My name's Angela. I've been married to my husband Phil for 6 years now, and we have two little girls. Naomi is 3.5, and Aria is 15 months. We live in Spokane, Washington, and like you said, we are musicians. And I actually also work full-time from home as a clinical trials data analyst during the day.
Oh, wow.
And then we squeeze in music as much as we possibly can, with having two kids and me working full-time. So my husband actually is a stay-at-home dad / we've been finishing our basement, and he's also been working on music as much as possible.
Wow.
And so, we have an indie pop duo that's me and my husband called Mountains in the Sea. And then we're also in a 5-piece indie rock band called The South Hill.
Love it.
That we have with some of our friends that also have kids. So
that's so cool.
That's been pretty fun. And it's nice that, everybody except for one guy in the band has kids now, and we're kind of all in like the same phase of life. So that makes that a little bit easier for those kind of things. But so we're independent. We're not signed to labels. And so my husband, Phil, and I, we manage the bands ourselves, and we do a lot of the behind the scenes work too, which is really time consuming. So that's been interesting, but fun, but you have to put on a lot of different hats. So that's kind of like our daily life. And, and then raising two kids at the same time has been really busy, but, it's the things that we love the most. Yeah. So we're trying to juggle it all and do all the things that we love.
Wow. That's so cool. That's so inspiring to me. I love that. Okay. So would you just kind of go into the story of your journey into motherhood, share maybe a little behind the scenes, and then we can kind of dive into more to some of your passions in life and that kind of stuff. But yeah, I love to just start out with like hearing, how did you become a mom? Like, what was that process? Were you guys trying to have kids? All of that good stuff.
Oh yeah, I love those stories. It's so fun to hear everybody's backstory. So I think we had been married about 2.5 years, and we decided, I think it was about 2 years, and we thought, maybe we ought to start trying to have kids. We felt like we were kind of ready. And then, so I think we didn't really, try too hard, but we said we would throw away the pill kind of, and, not try. And so I think we tried I think with Naomi, we got pregnant like right away. It was like our first month of trying. And that was kind of unexpected because I had a lot of friends that were trying for a while. And it's like, okay, I won't get my hopes up. I won't get too antsy about it. We'll just, take it kind of slow and not expect anything. But my mom was so funny. She was like, well, just so you know, we're really fertile, Angela. And I was like, okay.
Are you serious? That's so funny.
It's so funny. It's like, good to know, Mom. So I guess that's true. And I'm super thankful for that because I know so many people struggle with infertility. So that was such a blessing to get pregnant easily. And then, I got pregnant and I was like doing great. And then about 6 weeks, I got super, super nauseous and sick, and just like, it was kind of rough. Like I made it through, but I didn't take anything for it, but it was definitely a difficult time in my life, just
Wow.
like every day, all day nausea, and
Oh
it
my
was
gosh.
just really intense. So that was challenging, but made it through. And then with Naomi, we actually did a home birth. So that was really neat. We
Wow.
worked with some midwives in town,
Oh.
and we just thought, we wanted to try to have a natural birth, and we're close enough to the hospital that we thought it was worth, trying to have a home birth and have that kind of safe
That's
space and
amazing.
peaceful environment. And
Yeah.
so anyway, we went for that, and we did have a successful home birth. So that was really neat.
Oh.
I had a kind of a tough delivery because my labor was just like super painful. I,
Wow.
I asked all my friends afterwards, like, hey, did you guys feel like you were getting stabbed with 10 knives, like while you were having contractions, or was that just me?
Oh man.
And apparently I'm like the only one that had that sensation. I don't know,
Oh
but something was
wow.
just painful. It must have been like my midwife said it could have been like a pinched nerve or something. Anyway,
Oh
made it
wow.
through, had her super healthy, thankful for that. And the only problem was my tailbone broke during the delivery,
Oh my
like when I was
gosh. I
pushing.
had a friend that
And
that
so,
happened to. I'd never heard that before.
yeah,
Oh my goodness.
I know. And it was like not painful at the time, thank God. But like afterwards, I couldn't even sit. Like I had to just lay
Oh.
down for like at least a month. I just
Oh
like
my
couldn't sit on my tailbone at all. It
gosh.
was so sore. So it made kind of a difficult recovery, but anyway,
Wow.
made it through. And then, yeah, so that was my journey into motherhood the first time.
Wow.
But it was sweet though too. It was really wonderful, and
Hmm.
and so yeah, I got to be on maternity leave for a little while, and that was really sweet. And then a couple years later, I guess actually Naomi was about 18 months old when we decided to try again. We thought we kind of wanted them about 2 to 3 years apart,
Hmm.
and we wanted to have at least two kids. We've always said like 2 to 3 kids.
Yeah.
And so we started trying for number two, and it took us a few months to get pregnant that time. But yeah, so then I was pregnant again, and I was like even more nauseous.
No
But
way.
I made it through.
Oh my
Yeah, I was
gosh.
like doing all these things, like, all right, I'll like take magnesium supplements
Yeah.
and all the things. I scoured the internet, like what causes nausea? What could it be? I
Oh.
tried everything, like supplements, and
Oh my
and
gosh.
so I was like, I'll be doing better this time, and it was
Yeah.
like even worse.
No.
So
Man.
I still don't know. I guess I just have a lot of the hormones that make you nauseous or something. But
It's that
anyway,
fertileness
so
in
made it
you.
through. I don't, again, that's the thing. They say that if you're really nauseous, you're
Yeah.
like less likely to miscarry statistically or something. I'm like
Interesting.
thankful for that. But man, it was
Sure.
like really tough to
Wow.
make it through those long days.
Oh
But
man.
yeah, so then we had Aria about, I guess, 15 months ago, and that was
Wow.
great. I had a hospital birth with her, but got to do it naturally
Yeah.
again, so that was really cool and
Wow.
really sweet experience. It was definitely a lot easier the second time through with the birth, so
Mm,
it was really
that's
like
good.
redeeming for me.
Oh, that's amazing. Wow. So what has it been like adding a second baby to the home and kind of adjusting to that new life? And had you been working full time before? Like, can you share even what some of that transition has looked like for you with working full time and being essentially a full time mom too? Like, I know that your husband is also there, but there's a lot still that goes into it. I know for you probably too. So what does that look like for you?
Absolutely. It's been kind of like a balancing act. I've learned, better and better as I've gone, like how to handle it all because, having a second, well, first of all, having the first kid, I was working even before I
Hmm.
had Naomi full time at home. So thankfully, like being home, I was able to like breastfeed her during the day and things like that. But it's been hard because with either of them, both of them, when they're little, they just want
Yeah.
mommy sometimes, and I have to like
Yeah.
go upstairs and close my door. And they're just sometimes there's days, especially
Yeah.
Aria, my second girl, she is like such a mama's girl.
Mm.
And so there's times where she's just like,
Oh
"Mama," and I'm
man.
like, "Oh," it makes me feel so bad, because I'm here, so she
Right.
wants me to be with her, and I don't think she
Right.
understands why I'm
Right.
going upstairs. So it's like tough to be like, "I'll see you
Oh
later," and
man.
so that's been an interesting balance. But it's been so great though to be here. I'm
Yeah.
so thankful that I get to like see them throughout the day and eat lunch with them and all of that. So I wouldn't trade
Wow.
it for anything. But it's just been interesting trying to, make sure I'm able to focus
Sure.
on my work and, able to still give some time to the girls too. And yeah, just kind of like, I just try to give little pockets of time, like take a 15-minute break here and there, or, eat my lunch
Yeah.
with them, things like that. And
That's
that definitely
great.
helps.
Wow. Okay, so I would love to hear a little bit about some of the things that bring you joy in life. I imagine maybe some of that is with music, and I personally, selfishly, just want to hear a little bit of your story as far as how you started singing. And I don't know, do you play instruments as well?
Yeah, so I play ukulele and I played cello for a
Oh,
bit, but I have
amazing.
kind of transitioned out of that a little bit.
Wow.
It was really hard, and I was like, okay, I think I want to focus on. So I play
Okay,
keyboard
okay.
also, and then in our band, I also play just some extra stuff like tambourine and
That's amazing.
things like that. And yeah, I like to
Oh,
sing, so those things definitely bring me joy. And my number one favorite thing with music is writing songs. I think you said you're a songwriter too.
mm,
Is that what you
I
said?
am,
Yeah,
yeah.
so fun.
Oh, it's
I
the
just love
best.
writing songs, so that's really fun for me. And then obviously my
Mm,
girls bring me a lot of joy, and my husband,
yes.
and yeah, so and God,
That's
and we're
awesome.
getting to spend some time in His Word, but like that's been a
Mm,
little bit harder as since
oh,
becoming a
yeah.
mom.
Yeah, that's fair. Um, yeah, okay, so I just want to know just for myself even.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like how did you get into music? Like what were some of the things that you were drawn to even as a girl? Like and have you felt like those things have been like even your love for songwriting uh and playing in your band and with your husband, like do you feel like those things have been magnified since becoming a mom? Like, do you feel like the like doing those things are or like that being a mom fuels those things?
Yeah, so I would say I've always had a passion for music, and growing up, it was really like mostly singing. And so I was in choir in high school, and in college, I was in a choir, and I always just loved music, and I would search it out on the internet and try to find new bands and all this kind of thing,
Mm,
things like that. And so I think really having kids has kind of fueled that in a way, because it's made me kind of zero in on what is most
mm,
important in my life. And you know, is it worth taking time away from the girls to like do
mm,
music? It has to
mm-hmm,
be important to me to want to
mm-hmm.
spend time away from my kids doing something like that. So I think in a way it has. And then also just seeing their love for music has been really neat. Like Naomi just
Mm.
loves to sing, and she picks things up so fast. Sometimes
Wow.
I'm like, is this normal? I don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
she's really good at it, or maybe I'm just like, I think she's
Oh.
amazing because
Yeah.
I'm her mom. I don't know.
I love
But
it.
and then Aria, every time music comes on, she does like a little dance and just loves music. So it's been really
Oh.
neat to kind of share that with them too.
Yeah.
And Phil will be practicing guitar, and they'll just like dance around, and it's really sweet.
Oh,
But yeah,
that's so
it's been
cool.
kind of cool to really kind of zero in on what our dreams are and what our goals
Mm.
are, because we don't want to waste time since we have
Yeah.
the girls.
Yeah.
I think you probably feel the same way
Oh
about
yeah,
things.
totally. Actually, like Brandon and I were talking about this the other night. We're like, what did we do before we had a baby?
I
Like,
know,
what did we
right?
do with our time? Like, how?
We had
But I
so much
think like, yeah,
fun.
like, I think in like a lot of ways for me and him, like our personality type, even like I feel like if we didn't have a baby, I think we would just kind of drag our feet, honestly. Like
Mhm.
in a good way, it like puts a fire under our butt almost, you know?
Exactly.
Like
Yeah.
yeah. So
Well, I'm the kind
I
of person too that, like, my personality, I like to keep busy. Like, I always like to be working on
mm,
something. Like, even
mm-hmm.
when I didn't have kids, I had like all these projects going on and things I was trying to
Yeah.
do in businesses. And we're
Oh, I
like
love it.
serial entrepreneurs too, So it's like,
Oh,
I feel
wow.
like, yeah, so I feel like this has been neat though, because we've decided that we've dropped a lot of our other projects, and we've said music is
Mm,
the focus, and obviously
that's so
family,
cool.
So it's been good in
Yeah.
that way.
I love that. That's so cool. Dang. Okay, so what are some things that kind of help you stay inspired? Like, I imagine like having a full-time job and then and parenting. Like, where do you find time to even like write music, or how do you manage your time like with all of these things that you are doing?
Oh, that's a great question. Honestly, it's kind of a day-to-day thing. I've gotten like a planner and I've tried to write out goals and that kind of stuff. But to be honest, like since we have been working on all these things and getting pretty serious about pursuing music, and I'm still working full time, like we have to spend time in the evenings working on things a lot of times.
Mm.
Um, and I feel like it's been good though because I used to waste a lot of time just like watching TV, and I still like to watch TV. But I try to like take 30 minutes and work on things sometimes when I have
Yeah.
time. Just try not to like just let it slip away.
Mm.
And I'm not the best at it. Like I feel like I could be better at time management. But as far as like staying inspired, I think going to see like other musicians, live music in
Mm.
town, kind of seeing other people do art is always inspiring to me,
Yeah,
and seeing
that's
other
good.
people's passion. So
That's great.
it's been a good thing to keep going because for a while we just were homebodies. When you have a baby, it's really hard to
Yeah.
get out.
Yeah.
And so we're just kind of starting to get out more now that Aria's 15 months and she's sleeping
Yeah.
through the night now. Thankfully, it took her a while to do
Yes.
that.
That's
But we're
awesome.
like, okay, we need to get out and kind of stay inspired and stay in touch with what's going on locally with music and
Mm.
things like that instead of just being kind of stuck on the couch
That's
all the time
great.
in the evening.
Yeah, that's awesome. Do you have like this is kind of a side question just kind of popped to my into mind, but do you have any bands that you are like super inspired by and that you feel have like kind of helped shape your style or your sound?
Oh, that's tough because we actually we have like really diverse musical interests. I would say.
Oh,
I
that's
mean, we
great. I
we
love it.
think that. I don't know. Maybe other people would think we like similar things. But so for Mountains in the Sea, our duo, we've been inspired by a lot of pop stuff, which is different from our indie rock band. That's kind of like
Mm.
we for that band, we've been inspired by a lot of things like Lord Huron and Fleet Foxes and like
Oh,
indie
love it.
rock, similar. Band of
Yes.
Horses. We went and saw Band of Horses a few years ago after
Oh,
we had Naomi in town, and it was so cool. We actually got to meet
oh,
the lead singer and the
no
guitarist afterwards.
way.
Yeah, it was really
That's
cool.
amazing.
Yeah,
Oh,
so they were super nice and they were really encouraging because they actually, I think, yeah, both of them have kids.
oh,
Ben,
cool.
I think it's Ben is the lead singer and he has four daughters, I think. And I was like, well,
No
dang. Yeah.
way. Oh my
First of
gosh,
all, your
that's
wife
so
is
cool.
amazing.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna say, dang.
Yeah, but it
Wow.
was just neat kind of talking to them about music and they were living the
Oh,
tour life, which is not what we're doing, but
right, right.
getting sort of their perspective of being on the road and playing music and having kids back home was pretty interesting.
Wow. Wow.
And so that's been kind of cool. I search out a lot of times musicians with kids because I want to see like on Instagram and stuff like how are people doing
Yeah,
it, how are people managing, especially once you
seriously.
get like really successful. And I really like
Yeah.
following Johnny Swim. And
Oh,
I
yeah,
wouldn't say
yeah.
like musically we're super similar per
Sure,
se. I
sure.
mean, I love their music, but I love just like
Right.
following their lifestyle and how they have two little kids too, and pretty similar to
Oh,
our kids' ages. So it's been cool to follow them. And I think they
that's
actually bring their
great.
kids on tour, so that's kind of fun.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's so cool. I love hearing that. Thank you for diving in there. Yeah, Brandon and I, my husband and I talk about that kind of thing all the time, and I'm like, I'm just not as good. I haven't been as good recently, and I think I can relate to just to the like, we're both introverted and homebodies as well, anyways. But
Mm-hmm.
then like, so then like having our first daughter, it was like, an excuse even to like be like, oh, we can just stay in. But now we're like, okay, we got to try and get out more. But we haven't been super great about like going and seeing bands or whatever. So
Yeah.
that's just
You
an
kind of forget
encouraging
sometimes, I
thing.
think.
Yeah, totally. But I so love the Instagram community for that reason too.
Oh, yeah.
Like I've just been my eyes have been opened recently. So
That's so cool. Very cool.
yeah. Anyways, that's great. So, what are some things that you do to like take care of just you, like take care of your heart and the things that I don't know, they give you life?
Yeah. I gotta say, I am definitely like an extrovert and I have like some introverted qualities about me, but for me, it's like really important sometimes to get out and just like hang with my girlfriends and talk to them.
Mm,
And I have several friends in town that go to our church that have had kids around the same time. And so once in a while, like once in a blue moon, we'll actually like
Yeah.
get together and
Aw.
talk and have some wine. And it's just like so healing to me to like talk to other
Mm.
moms, and you realize like, oh, I'm not alone in any of these
Yeah. Yeah.
things. And I think that's really great. And so that's one thing I love to do. And then I don't know, for me time, um, I'm trying to like prioritize a little bit more and not, they say don't lose yourself when you become a mom. So I'm trying to
Sure.
like spend time doing even like working out and things like that, like self-care. It's
Yeah.
important. So
Yeah.
trying to do that.
That's awesome. Love it. Okay, so you mentioned something earlier that kind of reminded me of this next question, which is, have you experienced mom guilt? Um, have you experienced that in your life?
Oh,
And if
never.
so,
What's that?
but like, what are some things that you do when you feel that kind of creeping in? Like, what do you do to combat it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, I feel like mom guilt, like we all have it from time to time. I would say I try not to like dwell on it because there's some things in life you just can't change. Like I work full
Mm,
time. So it's
yeah.
like I'm not going to just sit there and dwell on the fact that I like can't be with my girls all day. Like I'd love to do
Right.
that, and I'm sure everybody in the world would love to like not work and not have a
Totally.
job. Like I mean that would be great, but like I'm super thankful for what I do have and the situation for how great it is. So I think just
Mm,
like trying to practice thankfulness helps a lot, and just not like letting yourself get in that mental rut, because I've definitely done it before where it's like I'm not doing enough, or like they're not eating their
mm.
vegetables, and
Yeah.
like maybe I should be doing this, maybe my 3-year-old needs to read by now, and all these things. It's
Yeah. Yeah.
like
Yeah.
you
Oh my
just can't
gosh.
like compare yourself
Yeah.
to other moms, because everybody's kids are different, every mom is
Yeah.
different. But at the same time, I do feel like it's great, like I was saying, to get together with other moms and just kind of like vent a
Mm,
little bit sometimes. And then you
yeah.
realize, like, oh, everybody's kids aren't as perfect as they seem on
Yeah.
Instagram. You know?
That's so
Everybody's
true.
kids talk back sometimes
Yeah.
and all this kind of stuff. So, yeah. And I think, too, just like not like, the whole social media thing is kind of a trap, because you get your expectations
Yeah.
really high. And I think I've had to just kind of like take a step back sometimes and say, like, okay, like everybody is alive. I love them. Our house has a roof,
Mm,
and like, all these things. Like we're
yeah.
doing fine. Even if we make a few mistakes, like I think
Mm,
God's grace is huge. So I just like pray
yeah.
that He makes up for where I lack, and I think He
Yeah.
does. But at the end of the day, I
Yes.
think they're gonna like look back and think that they had good childhoods, hopefully. So
Yes.
that's the
That's
goal, I
great.
guess.
Yeah. I know I do that too. I'm like, oh Lord, please just if I'm like, yeah, with the food stuff and like all of those things,
Oh
I'm
my
like, you
gosh.
just
Yeah, I was
cover
like,
it,
oh,
Jesus.
yeah. I just was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I'm going to feed my kids like organic and healthy all the
Mm-hmm.
time. And they're going to love vegetables. And it's like,
Yeah.
well, they don't love vegetables. I'm like, why doesn't my 3-year-old
Uh,
love broccoli? She doesn't like it at all.
oh my gosh, I
But you know
know.
what? There's always green smoothies, which are sweet, and
That's right.
they'll drink
That's
those. So
right.
it's good.
Amen. Thank God for
Just got to
blenders.
find what works, and just
Yeah,
stick
totally.
with that.
That's great. Oh, cool. Okay, and I also love to talk about legacy. And so like when you hear that word, what comes to mind? What is the legacy you want to leave for your children?
Oh man, that's a tough one. Um, I definitely would love if they grow up and love God and love people and just want to help people. I think that's a great
Mm,
thing to, and being kind. Like I would love to have kind kids, even if they're not like an Olympic athlete or something.
yeah.
I think that like Mr. Rogers is totally my role model in life. So
Yes. Oh my
I would just love if they would
gosh.
just grow up and be wonderful, kind people who love people and help people. And
Mm,
and I also want them to be like strong women and be bold and be
mm,
confident and just pursue their dreams too. So hopefully, if they see us
that's
doing that,
beautiful.
they'll kind of
Yeah.
be driven to do that too and just be inspired. Because I spent like way too many years doubting myself and
Mm,
thinking that I wasn't good enough. So I just hope that
yeah.
my kids will kind of start a little bit sooner and not be held back by like self doubt and things like that as much as I was. So that's
I
a
love
goal.
that. That's so good. I love to end with some fun questions. So the
Sweet.
first would be, do you have a favorite product for yourself or for your kiddos that you're enjoying at this moment?
Ooh, okay. Favorite product. I was thinking about this. Let me see. I wrote something down. That's why I have to clip this out. Okay, okay. Favorite product. So I have like as we go on, I feel like I'm using less products
Yeah,
as a mom,
yeah,
like than I was, you know, when I first became a mom. I was like, oh, I have all these things. Like I have this
totally.
seat and this chair and this swing and all these things. And so one thing that has like definitely stood the test of time for us has been all the Honest products. Like we've used
Oh,
Honest
yeah.
diapers a lot because my
Awesome.
girl's skin is like super sensitive. No shock there because mine is too. So
Oh,
we use like all their bath products and everything like that.
that's great.
And then I have to give a shout out to my friend Michelle
Yeah.
because she has this awesome bear that she's developed. It's like a teddy bear that's coming soon, and it
Oh,
helps babies in the hospital that have to be like in the NICU, like preemies or babies that
no
have to go back to the
way.
hospital. Yeah, it's so cool. So anyway, if you want, you can check out Finn and
Yeah.
Co. Finn and Co. Gifts,
Finn and Co.
Finn. It's named after her son because he was born premature, and
Oh,
she wanted a way for like parents to connect with the baby even when they couldn't be there because it's like, you know, you can't be there 24/7, and it's kind of tough if they have to do like a blood draw or something and the baby wants
mm.
mommy and just all of that. So anyway, really cool concept. I'm excited to see where that goes.
Oh, that's so cool. I'll definitely check it out. Yeah, maybe we can like add a link or something so people can look it in the show notes or whatever. That would be so cool.
Yeah, it's going to
That's
be really exciting
awesome. That
for
sounds really neat.
parents that go through that. Yeah.
Okay, cool. And then do you guys have a favorite holiday family tradition?
You know, we're kind of still forming a lot of those since our girls are so
Sure.
young. We like last year, Naomi really loved decorating the Christmas tree with us. And
Oh.
so it was like the other day, it was crazy. And it's, you know, November. And so it was like a year ago that we decorated our tree. And she was like, hey, mommy, remember last time when I was afraid of the clock next to the tree? And I was like, what? Do you remember a year ago? Because we had this clock on a
Wow.
shelf next to the tree, and she was afraid of it for some reason because it was like
No
ticking.
way. Oh my
And she
gosh.
remembered a year later. I was like,
Wow.
what?
Go girl.
Anyway,
Dang. That's
she
so impressive.
apparently it made a big impression on her decorating the tree though, because she was still talking about it a year later. So it's like, wow, okay. So anyway,
Aw,
decorating the tree was really fun for her, like putting the little hooks on all the
I love
ornaments and
it.
putting them up.
Aw.
And another thing that we've done with my family growing up that I really want to carry on is stockings are like a big deal for us.
Mm.
So my mom, I know some people don't really like put stuff in stockings that
Hmm.
much, or it's like just whatever, you know. But my mom would always like load our stockings with like all these really
Nice.
cool little gifts, and we would
Yes.
go open them first thing in the morning, like before we would go wake up my parents, so they got to sleep in a little bit longer,
Yeah, that's like
which
genius.
was nice. Yeah, they'd be like, "Oh, go open your stocking while we
Yeah,
like
yeah.
wake up," you know.
Oh,
And so, yeah, so I really want to make stockings kind of a big deal. I actually got personalized stockings last year from,
oh
I think,
my
Land's
gosh.
End. I got them like printed with the names on there.
That's
So, yeah,
awesome.
I want to make it like fun for the girls every year. So that's kind of my
Very
plan.
sweet. That's so sweet. I love it. And then, okay, and then is there one piece of advice that you'd give to a new mom?
Oh, that's a tough one. I think I would say don't be too hard on yourself
Mm.
because it it is a hard job. Like I think I had a lot of preconceived notions that I would do things a certain way or that like it wouldn't be that hard or you know what I mean? Like I mean, you
Yes,
know it's going to be hard, right? But you just
totally.
don't know what it's like when you are like sleep deprived. I mean, that's
Yeah,
like a form of torture, you know?
it literally is.
Yeah, and when you're like sleep deprived for like 8 months, like
Right,
it's
right.
just like, oh my
Oh
gosh, is this
man.
ever going to end? So I just think like don't be hard on yourself and you know try to savor it because it does go fast. You only have like a year of your kids being a
Yeah,
baby, so
yeah.
I know that's like what everybody says,
I
but
know,
it really
no, but
is
it's so
true.
true. That's
It
so
really is
good.
true. And also
Oh,
don't like give up on yourself. Like you know you can
yeah.
still pursue your dreams and stuff, and it's okay to
Right.
have seasons of life when you know you're kind of in mom mode and then things change so fast. So
Yeah, that's really good. Oh, cool. And then I also forgot to ask you, where can people find you on social media?
You can find us at Mountains in the Sea. So it's MTNS in the Sea,
Okay, cool.
SEA, on Instagram and Facebook. And I think you can search our name too, and it should come up. That's our
Okay,
pop
cool.
duo. And you can find our
Awesome.
full band, the 5-piece band, the South Hill. It's just at the South Hill.
Awesome. And then you guys, you had, I remember looking up your single on iTunes and you have another one coming out, right? For like the holidays, am I right?
Yeah, we do.
Oh,
Yeah, so really
yay.
last minute, yeah,
Love
it was
it.
like the Thursday. So we got it done in 5 days, I think. We just I wrote
Nice.
this song on a Thursday and we were done by Tuesday, I think,
Oh my gosh, that's
recording it
amazing.
ourselves. And it's really fun. It's a Christmas song. It's called Well, This Is Christmas by Mountains in the Sea. And
Love it.
it's like a kind of a bluesy song and a little bit nostalgic. And you guys should check it out because
Oh,
I'm really excited about it. It's pretty
yes.
fun.
Awesome. Oh, Angela, thank you so much for taking the time to do this with me today. I'm so excited to share your story. Thank you.
Thanks so much for having me. It's
Yes.
been really fun to talk about everything with you.
Oh, good. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed today's interview. Please share this with a friend if it impacted you in any way, and leave a review on iTunes so other mamas can hear the truth that they are enough and they are doing their very best. Be sure to catch up on what's happening in the Mommispace community every day on Instagram at Mommispace. And you can email me at mommispace@gmail.com for questions or interview recommendations. All my love to you, Mama. You're amazing. See you next week.
Well, this is Christmas, Christmas, and the mistletoe is hanging in the hall, and the lights are shining bright on the tree tonight, but it all seems so dim without you. They say it's Christmas, Christmas, and kids are singing carols down the lane, and the lights are shining bright on the tree tonight, but it all seems so dim without you. I'd take down all the holly if I could hold you tight. I'd give back all the presents if I could be with you tonight. Well, this is Christmas.